What's up, Airsofters? This is the Elite Force H&K MP7 AEG. This bad boy has been long awaited and has been requested by Airsofters around the world for years. A small, compact AEG with a great mag capacity and awesome performance. The guys at Elite Force and VFC worked together to develop an incredible gearbox that's compact, high performance, and reliable, and fit it into a really compact package. This PDW-sized AEG is modeled beautifully after the real H&K MP7. A little bit of history on the MP7. Right around the 90s and 2000s, there was developed a weapon system by H&K, a PDW-sized firearm that featured a smaller diameter round that was really good at penetrating body armor and really reduced the recoil, making this ideal for security forces. In fact, over 20 countries still use the H&K MP7. The interesting thing is about Airsoft, the 6mm round fired by Airsoft guns is actually larger than the original caliber of the MP7. A lot of the functionality and features of the MP7 are retained on the AEG as well. One key difference between the real H&K MP7 and the MP7 AEG is that while the real MP7 has a mag capacity of 20 to 30 rounds, or even 40 rounds if you have the box magazine, this bad boy right here holds over 100 rounds in a magazine, which means you're reloading 3 times less often. Because of the unique design of the magazine follower in its relation to the gearbox and stopping firing when it's empty, you have to make sure that if you are inserting an empty magazine into the MP7, that you depress the follower completely underneath the locking mechanism before reinserting it into the magwell. Now, that's not the case if you have a full magazine, only if the magazine's empty. Speaking of which, if you want to clear a BB out of the MP7 after firing at the end of the day, or if you're walking off the field and you have an empty magazine, or there's a magazine out of the magwell, you can simply hold down the bolt release and then pull the trigger on semi-auto or fully automatic, and it will evacuate the hop-up chamber. In a system that's this small, you rely on everything to be compact, and that includes the gearbox as well to some degree as the battery compartment. So that is going to dictate what size batteries you can use with a platform like this. To gain access to the battery compartment, simply pull on the front cover of the AEG like this, and you can remove this. Now that gives you access to both the small type Tamiya plug and the battery compartment itself. Now we have found that while Elite Force also offers a bespoke battery that fits these bad boys, the Tenergy 11-1 1000 milliamp batteries also fit beautifully. What you'll want to do is insert the battery wires backward into the battery storage compartment, and as you slide that along, make sure that the wires are riding atop of the battery like so, and right before you get it all the way plugged in, that's when you want to plug in your small type Tamiya connector and then reattach the front cover. It fits beautifully, and the 1000 milliamp capacity is really nice to have, especially with a platform that has the rate of fire that this has right out of the box. While external features are certainly very practical and awesome information to have, I think what you guys want to see is the really unique internals. This custom gearbox made for this platform specifically has a lot of quirks and interesting things about it. So let's get one of our techs in here, disassemble this bad boy, and look at the internals. The Elite Force MP7 AEG is very much its own animal, inside and out. As far as we can tell, this gun is completely proprietary, except for the barrel, which out of the factory is a 204mm length, and the bucking, which is a standard VFC black bucking. Everything in here is especially made for this MP7 AEG. Just getting the gearbox out of the one-piece body is not an easy task. The full disassembly is a bit time-consuming for this video, and it'll be covered in a separate video if you're interested in watching. We don't recommend you take this gun apart unless you're a highly experienced technician. Once we were inside the gearbox, we discovered some really interesting features. There are 4 gears riding on 8mm ball bearings that drive a 9-tooth shortened piston powered by a unique motor, similar in style to a PTW motor but shorter, and a much shorter AEG spring with a thicker coil. There's a built-in MOSFET and no less than 3 micro switches that work together to seamlessly operate the functions of this unique platform. First things first, we came down to the range here at the Evike.com Superstore to check out some of the fit and functionality, the feel, as well as some accuracy and precision tests. Let's first reintroduce the AEG version of the MP7 from Elite Force. This bad boy, again, is a really compact AEG, and you guys have been asking for it for a long time. I feel like I should mention that personally, I don't use a whole lot of really small subcompact weapons like this simply because I feel like they're a little too small for me. With that said, I think the ergonomics of this are extremely comfortable. The extendable stock can be released using this switch back here. Simply pulling up on that will give you 3 positions of retractability, 1, 2, and finally fully open. For these tests, I've been using it in its first locking point. Up front here, you also have a releasable vertical grip. Now, personally, with this configuration, kind of set to that length, and with the vertical grip out, I gotta be honest, it's really comfortable. I didn't expect it to be as comfortable as it is, but it's easy to get a sight picture. Your front and rear sights are both adjustable and give you 2 different sight heights. You have a low pro set of sights as well as a raised set of sights. Personally, I find the raised versions a little bit more comfortable. So that's those there. They are removable, and you can also put on a red dot. I think a red dot optic, like a micro T1, would be perfect for something like this, especially with how quickly you'll be running this in a game. Quick target acquisition is going to be really key. So a red dot would be great here. Beyond that, in terms of functionality, a couple things to note. Your select fire switch here is ambidextrous and allows you to select between safe, semi-auto, and fully automatic firing modes. And your mag release is also ambidextrous. You might be tricked into thinking this is your mag release here, but this is in fact your dummy bolt release for adjusting your hop up, as well as the reset for your magazine. For example, if I were to put this on semi-auto without a magazine in it, it will not fire. But I can force it to fire to clear a round. Like if I eject the magazine, I'm afraid there's one still in the hop-up unit, I can push down on that. See how that moves just a bit? I can push down on that, and I can pull the trigger, making sure the chamber is clear. And that's pretty ergonomic. I can hit that with my finger like so. That's really easy to activate. So all the controls are easy to reach with either hand, including the magazine release. Additionally, make sure that you have the magazine fully seated, and then to release it, simply release it with either side of the magazine release. And then go ahead and clear the magazine again. Other than that, hop-up adjustments can be performed by pulling back on the charging handle back here. And you'll notice that there is a spinning wheel just inside the imitation bolt. I hope you can see that there. That wheel. Pressing down or giving you higher numbers is more hop and will give you a flatter trajectory with a heavier round. If you're using a lighter weight round like a 2.0, you'll want to go a little bit lower number. And then to release that dummy bolt, you just want to pull down on the bolt release there. Because we're down in the range, we might as well test the FPS and rounds per second of the Elite Force MP7 AEG. Now keep in mind, that's for this specific one as we took it out of the box. If you decide to purchase one, yours may fluctuate a little bit from here, the nature of springs and AEGs. But this is a good test for the general range that you can expect in terms of FPS and rounds per second. One other note, we're using an 11.1 volt lithium polymer battery with a 1000 milliamp capacity and a 20 C discharge rate. Let's try it out.
Ready?
362, 360, 363, 362, 361, 361. Let's try it on full auto for rate of fire. Averages just about 21 rounds per second. So at 360 on average FPS at around 21 rounds a second, this thing really kicks butt right out of the box. I don't see what you would ever need to upgrade except putting on some accessories. Something else we'd really like to test while we're here is the sound of the AEG. It's really hard to translate through video, but we've brought in a better microphone to give you guys a better idea of how it really sounds in real life. First, the sounds from the gearbox as your head is next to the gun. And now on full auto. Oh, guess I need to refill my mag. One side note, when you're refilling your magazine or reinserting your magazine, this magnetic follower can be damaged if you insert this into the gun without any rounds in it. So if you plan on storing it in the gun, which is irresponsible, or putting in an empty magazine, make sure you depress the follower first, like so, and not have it up. So depress the follower if you're putting it back in the gun, or simply load it with BBs. Let's go ahead and reload it. So, mag's back in. Let's go ahead and redo that test. Once again, the sound of the gearbox from about your chin. And full auto. And then finally, to give you an idea of what it sounds like at the front of the muzzle, let's try it from the front. And full auto. If you guys like us doing that and you'd like to see more audio examples on the videos, comment in the section below. Let's start off with our accuracy test. This accuracy test is going to be performed on our gun power targeting system. This one's specifically set up to give you a relationship between a paper target and a sensor screen. It'll give you a readout of accuracy on the screen as well as giving you a paper target representation of how accurate you're being. Now in this test, it doesn't matter so much that I'm hitting the bullseye, because we haven't exactly adjusted the sights or anything, we've just taken it right out of the box. What will matter is how tight the grouping is and how consistently it's firing. Again, this is right out of the box, no modification, cleaning, or adjustment of the sights. Let's see how it does. Eight, 6, 7, 9, 5, 8, 8, 9, 9, 4, game over. This is a really snappy gun. What I like about it is, right out of the box, it's really consistent. It's got a nice loud report to it, but it's easily controllable, and as you can see, when I bring the target back, all my shots are in a really nice grouping, and we're talking about a target that's 20, 25 feet away. That kind of grouping with an airsoft gun this small with a barrel this short is really nice. I really like it. Now, rather than bore you with more accuracy trials, let's see how this thing does on full auto. Yeah, I'd say he's dead. Quick side note. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I've been firing over 100 rounds without reloading. And as far as I can tell, that's the most rounds fired out of a single MP7 magazine since ever. So can we all just take a moment to appreciate how many rounds this thing has? Back to the regularly scheduled program. As I said at the beginning of the video, I am a huge HK fanboy, and this addition to the HK lineup from Elite Force is huge. I have one of the gas blowback versions, and while it's cool, reloading every 40 rounds and having to keep a bottle of gas on me isn't nearly as cool as plugging in a battery, keeping 110 rounds in the magazine, and running and gunning for hours on end without having to worry about having gas with me. This is a huge advancement for Airsoft. This awesome gearbox is really cool, and I can't wait to see what brands come out with upgrade internals for these to make them even better. To find out more information about the availability of the H&K MP7 AEG from Elite Force, make sure you head to our website for in-depth info right here at Evike.com. What's up, guys? If you liked this review format, we're looking at doing more of them. Do you prefer more in-depth reviews? Because we want to do them. Make sure you comment in the section below what in-depth product review you'd like to see next, and we might just be able to do it on our channel. Hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing lately, and hit that bell icon if you haven't been notified of our newest video releases. See you guys later.